What's up, everybody? Alan Chris from Corfu here. Work on your fucking game.
Dre, what's your why? Why are you doing it? What's your motivation? Why do you get up every day in the morning? Why do you post these videos, Dre? Why do you still play ball? Why do you work out every day? What is your why? Weekly Motivation 200. Let's talk about that.
DreAllDay.com.
What's up, everybody? Dre Baldwin, DreAllDay.com. Here we are, Weekly Motivation 200. It has been exactly 200 consecutive weeks I put this video out. I have not missed a single day. There are no vacations here. For those of you who have been following along since the beginning, I appreciate you. For those of you who just came along last week, or this is the first Dre All Day video you ever watched in your life, welcome to the show. People always ask me, what's my why? Why do you do the things that you do? It's very simple. And this might sound trite, but I got to give it to you the way that it comes from me, the way that I really feel it, because that's the way that I'm going to put out. That's the way I put everything that I put out here, whether I'm talking about things that I write, things that I tweet, something I post on Instagram, something I say to you if you ever meet me in person, something I respond to you in the comments or email, and the things that I make in these videos. I do what I want to do. If I want to go to the gym, I want to wake up every day and go to the gym and work out, that's what I do. If I want to make videos and post them on YouTube every day is what I do. I want to write some books, I did it. I want to write some blog posts, done it. I want to get an Instagram or Facebook or do this, that, and the third, do some photo shoots, I'm going to do it. I do the things that I want to do. I always knew when I was young coming up that I wasn't going to do things the same way that most people did them. And I'm talking even my parents raised my sister and I to do things the way that most people, I would say most people, quote unquote, do things. You go to school, you get your degrees, diplomas, etc. You go get yourself a nice little job, you work there, you get a family, you get some kids, you get a dog, you live happily ever after, and you die and it's over and nobody remembers. I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to follow that plan. I knew that I was going to do something different. I knew I was going to do something where I was going to be able to reach people like all of you out there, people who had never even met me in person. I knew I was going to have a way to reach them. And of course, you're talking back in 1992 through 95, 96, 97. There was really no internet there. There was no YouTube, no Twitter. There was no social media. There was no personal branding. None of that stuff existed. So I didn't know this was going to happen. But I knew that something was going to happen. I had already made the decision that I was going to do something differently. I was going to reach people like all you out there, and I was going to do it in a way that hadn't really been done before. That's a decision. When we talk about what is your why, first thing you got to understand is that you got to make a decision. And I was just before I recorded this video, I was watching a Tony Robbins video on YouTube. And it wasn't even a video, it was really just audio with a picture. And Tony Robbins said, when you make a decision, you don't have to think about anything anymore. A decision comes from the word incision. The word incision is about cutting off. When you cut off, when you make a decision, that means you're cutting off the possibilities of anything else happening other than the thing that you've committed to doing. The decision I made was that I was going to build a personal brand. It was going to be based on me. It was going to be by me. It was going to be about me. And it was going to be expressed completely through me. And if somebody feel it, they feel it. If nobody feel it, they don't feel it. But I'm going to put it out there. Whatever happens, happens. But that was the decision. That's the most important part that you got to understand from this. I made the decision that that's what was going to happen. And you see what's happened since then. You see DreAllDay.com. You hear me say, work on your game. You see almost 4,000 videos on YouTube. You see all the other stuff that I do. If you go to my website, you'll see if you don't know about it. All these things, all of these things I knew I was going to do back then. I didn't know how, when, where, who was going to help me, what was going to come from it, but I just knew I was going to do it. And that was my why from the beginning, that it spoke from inside of me. All of you out there got something that speaks from inside of you. It might be basketball. It might not. You might be doing something right now that you know is not speaking from inside of you, but you're doing it because you think that's what you're supposed to do. Like, any of y'all ever see a kid who's real tall and everywhere they go, people be like, yo, you play basketball? Why you don't play basketball? Who you play for? Why you can't dunk? Because, and then he starts to think, oh, I'm supposed to play basketball because I'm tall. And if you watch enough basketball, you'll see players who are tall and they playing. You can tell they don't really like basketball, but they playing because they got it stuck in their head. That's what they're supposed to do. All of you got something that's speaking from inside of you. Nobody can tell you what it is. Nobody can look at you and diagnose it for you. You got to look inside yourself and know what it is inside you that you want to express, that you want to put out. I always knew when I was young. I said I like taking pictures. I want to do some modeling. I like writing. I want to write books. I want to have a website. I want the website to be all about me. I want to post videos on the internet. I want to play basketball. I want to do all of these things. I don't know how it's all going to come together or how it's going to make sense or if anybody's going to give a damn about it, but I knew that's what I wanted to do. And once I made that decision, again, back to the decision. Once I made that decision, everything else had no choice but to fall in line and make it work somehow, some way. I didn't know YouTube was going to come out. I didn't know Twitter was going to happen. I didn't know Instagram or Facebook or Work on Your Game or DreAllDay.com. Remember 2003, 2002 maybe. Once I really started using the internet, I was like, one day I wrote down like a 10-year plan, all these things I wanted to do. Some of them I accomplished, some of them I did not. I don't share that list, but one of the things that was on that list was I wanted to have a website that was based on me. It was going to be DreBaldwin.com or something, just based on me, basically. I didn't think of Dre All Day till like the day that I registered the domain name, which is probably about 06, 07. The website came out like a year later. This is all about the decision and the vision. Those are only two things you need to remember from this video. I know I'm talking a lot here. I just got to give y'all the background so y'all really understand, because a lot of people ask me, what's your why? Decision and vision. You got to understand, you got to figure out what your vision is. What is it you see yourself doing? Who do you see yourself as? Where do you see yourself being? And how do you see yourself being perceived by everyone else? Nobody else decides that. If you don't take control of it though, people will decide how you get seen. People will decide how they perceive you. They'll decide who you are, what box you go in, what you represent, what you can do, what you can't do. It is your choice, your decision to have the vision. This is what I'm about. This is what I do. This is how I'm going to do it. And this is the way it's going to be. And when you say my name, these are the things you're going to have to say. Your actions, your vision, which drives your decisions, makes that happen. Once I had the vision of what I wanted to do, every decision I made, instead of basing my decisions on my current reality, when I got cut from my high school basketball team as a junior, my current reality was you 16, you got cut from the high school team 3 times, nobody thinks you're good, you're not being recruited by nobody because you're not on the fucking team, you ain't never played AAU, nobody's talking about you when it comes to basketball. The reality was you're not a basketball player. The vision was something completely different. Now you can look at what I've done from then till now and you can tell me, did I follow the reality or did I follow the vision? You got to decide. Wherever you at, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what your situation is, what setbacks you've had, who doesn't believe in you, who's not helping you, what negativity you want to think is holding you back. When you have a vision of where you want to go, start making your actions based on the vision, based on where you want to be instead of where you are. When you make decisions based on where you are, all you're doing is reinforcing where you are. So if you're an average person and you keep making average decisions, doing average things and making average moves, all you're doing is reinforcing that average. You're just making the position of average stronger and stronger and stronger. Every time you do that, every time you speak like it, every time you think like it, every time you act like it. If you're an average person and you start making decisions based on being extraordinary, made a video about that a few motivations back if you go back through the playlist. You start making decisions based on being up here, slowly you're going to start bringing yourself up. Does that make sense to all y'all? If you're a person who's overweight and you 300 pounds and every day you sit on the couch and watch TV, all you're doing is reinforcing being overweight and fat and probably killing yourself. But if you start going to the gym every day, you don't have to kill the gym. You don't have to bench 400. You don't have to take a spin class. You don't have to be the best athlete in there. Just go to the gym every day, start working out, start walking on the treadmill, start lifting some light weights, start doing a little step aerobics class as much as you possibly can, as much as you're capable of. Get yourself a trainer. Once you start taking those little steps, take your actions based on your vision. Because if I told you, right, if I told you there's somebody who goes to the gym every single day, they got a trainer, they take classes, they work out, and they make sure they committed every single day to go to the gym, I would say, what type of shape you think that person is in? Without seeing them, without knowing nothing else about them, you would say person's probably in good shape. Just based on that information of they go to the gym every single day, right? But then I showed you that person, they're 350 pounds, and the doctor just told them, you don't start working out, you're going to die. But for the last 6 months, they've been going to the gym every day because their vision is, I'm that person that you described. They're a person who's probably in pretty good shape because their actions are showing that they're following their vision instead of following their reality. Because the reality is, the doctor says you're about to die. So you might as well just lay down and die if you want to follow the reality. You got to follow the vision. Figure out where you want to be and take your actions based on that, not based on what nobody says, not based on what nobody didn't do, not based on what you think you can't do. Please eliminate that from your mind. Please eliminate that from your mind. That's another thing that you need to remember from this video. There's a lot you need to remember, but that's why it's a video, so you can rewind it and watch it again. So you ask me, what's my why? The why is this. The why is to find a vision. And once you find a vision, make all your decisions based on that. That's Weekly Motivation 200. DreAllDay.com. Work on your game. Add a guaranteed 10 inches to your vertical, not a maybe 10 inches. A guaranteed 10 inches to your vertical. Go to DreAllDay.com/jump. Get the jump manual. When you get it, I'm going to give you 5 free pen books or any free DVD. All you got to do is email me the receipt. DreAllDay.com/jump. Bounce it.
Dre Baldwin, strong.
You're like a model.
Like that name, Philadelphia.
Punch card.
That guy's almost too ripped.
Right.